Otters. For our next math lesson today, we are going to be kind of combining everything we've been working on with division and fractions and mixed numbers and put it all together. So we are going to be today dividing with fractions, whole numbers, and mixed numbers. So there's going to be multiple steps to some of these problems. So let's get started. Our first problem is 3 2/3 divided by 4. So right now I know that I need to have these both as regular fractions, and I'm starting out with a mixed number here and a whole number here. So I need to change these. So that's going to be my first step. So I'm going to change 3 2/3 to an improper fraction. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. 11 thirds divided by, and 4 is a whole number. I want to change that to a fraction, so I'm going to write it as 4/1. So now that I have two fractions, I can take and turn this into a multiplication problem. So that will look like 11 thirds times the reciprocal of 4/1, which would be 1/4. And now I've gotten to the point where I can just multiply straight across. 11 times 1 is 11, over 3 times 4 is 12. And it looks like I can't reduce on that, so 11/12 would be my final answer. All right, next problem, let's see here, will be 6 divided by 1 5/7. So again, here I have a whole number and a mixed number, and I need to change both of these into fractions. So I'm going to start with that step. 6 is going to become 6/1 divided by, and now I have to convert that mixed number 1 5/7 into an improper fraction. So 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12/7. Now I want to be able to multiply by the reciprocal. So 6/1 times the reciprocal of 12/7 would be 7/12. And now when I multiply straight across, I get 6 times 7 is 42 over 1 times 12 is 12. So it looks like I'm going to need to change this improper fraction to a mixed number and reduce. So I think what I'm going to do first here is reduce. I see that I can divide both of them by 6. So 42 divided by 6 is 7, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. That makes it a lot easier for me to convert into a mixed number. So how many times does 2 go into 7? It goes in 3 times, and 3 times 2 is 6. So from that 7, I have 1 left. So my final answer would be 3 1/2. All right. Next problem, C, would be 8 divided by 3 1/5. All right, same steps here. That 8, I'm going to change into 8/1. Divided by, I need to convert this now into an improper fraction. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16, so that would become 16/5. So now I'm going to change this into a multiply by the reciprocal problem. So 8/1 times the reciprocal would be 5/16, and 8 times 5 is 40, and 1 times 16 is 16. Again, I think I'm going to reduce first before changing to a mixed number. So I can divide both of these by 8. 40 divided by 8 is 5. 16 divided by 8 is 2. And 2 goes into 5 2 times, which gets me to 4. So I have 1 left over, so my final answer would be 2 1/2. All right, let's do one more here, and then I'm going to give you a chance to try some on your own before going on to the Apply My Learning problems. So the last one I'll show as an example will be 2 1/3 divided by 3 1/2. So because these are both mixed numbers, what I'm going to need to do is convert them both into improper fractions. So on the first one, 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so I would get 7/3, divided by 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so again I get 7 as my numerator, over 2. Now I'm going to need to multiply by the reciprocal, so 7/3 times the reciprocal would be 2/7, and 7 times 2 is 14, over 3 times 7 is 21. And it looks like I can reduce here because both of these are divisible by 7. So 14 divided by 7 is 2, and 21 divided by 7 is 3. So my final answer would be 2/3. All right, Otters, now is your chance to try a few on your own. So I'm going to write down a problem. I want you to pause the video, give yourself some time to solve it, and then come back to check my work. So the next problem I would like you to do on your own is 7 1/2 divided by 2 1/2. All right, at this point, pause the video, try this problem on your own, and then come back to check your work. All right, so first step, for both of these, we're going to need to convert these into improper fractions. So for 7 1/2, we would do 2 times 7 is 14, plus the 1 is 15. So we would have 15 halves divided by, for 2 1/2, we do 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 1 is 5 halves. Now I'm going to do 15 halves times the reciprocal of 2/5. 15 times 2 is 30. 2 times 5 is 10. And I want to look at this as 10 goes into 30 3 times with 0 left over, so my final answer would be 3. All right, hope you're doing okay so far. Let's try another one on your own. This time we have 8/9 divided by 1 1/3. Pause the video and try this problem on your own. All right, Otters, let's see how you did. First, the 8/9, I can just leave that as it is, so I'm just going to bring that down. Excuse me. And then divided by, changing this into an improper fraction. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, so that is 4/3. Now I'm going to multiply 8/9 times the reciprocal, which would be 3/4, and multiply across. 8 times 3 is 24, over 9 times 4 is 36. So I can reduce that. I can divide both of these by 12. 24 divided by 12 is 2. 36 divided by 12 is 3. So my final answer would be 2/3. All right, let's do one more on your own. And that one is going to be 1 4/5 divided by 4. All right, pause the video, try it on your own, and then come back to check your answer. All right, here we go. Let's convert 1 4/5 to an improper fraction. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9, so I would get 9/5, divided by this whole number 4, I'm going to change into 4 over 1. So now I go to multiply by the reciprocal. I have 9/5 times 1/4, and I multiply across. 9 times 1 is 9, and 5 times 4 is 20. And it looks like that is as far as I can go because I cannot reduce those. So 9/20 would be my final answer. All right, Otters, that is going to wrap it up for that seminar practice. I hope you did okay on those problems. I hope you're feeling comfortable with converting the mixed numbers and changing a whole number into a fraction so that you can do these kinds of division problems. So here are your 5 Apply My Learning problems. Solve these in your notebook. When you're all done, take a picture and upload it to Canvas. And just make sure that if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at any time. All right, thanks. Have a great rest of your day.